Well, the plan has to do with who the participants in the process, where the process will take place, how many stations will be involved in the process, and that's 10. And that we have the parallel arrangement. So we have region 4 and a number of other regions at the same time being counted parallel, so we can come to one conclusion.
Who are the participants you are referring to for this process, just for clarity?
Well, you have the representatives of the parties, the CARICOM high-level team, observers, the Gecom
Staff?
officials.
And how many have you decided on for each station? Is it the same 14
It's,
for
it's,
each?
yes, it will differ based on the parties' participation in the different districts. But we worked it out to average around 14, maximum 14.
How many workstations would be dedicated to counting ballots from Region 4?
I think the conclusion was 3.
3 workstations?
Yes.
For boxes from Region 4?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the anticipated duration at this point in time?
On the question of duration, again, we weren't finite. And what we decided was that we would start off with an anticipation of completion in 25 days, but that would be subject to review in the first week based on the pace of work, and then we have a finite time, except for the commencement date.
What is holding that up?
CARICOM.
And
They're not holding it up in the sense that they are actively holding it up, but that information is critical. Now that we have an order, we can share with them and they can understand what is it we're asking them to come to do. Then we get the
What
concurrence.
exactly you're asking them to come to do?
Their terms of reference speaks to scrutinizing the process and submitting the report at the end of the process.
And sir, what provision is being made for backup staff during the counting process? Should people be absent, reporting ill, or otherwise unable?
We haven't gone into those details. That's a matter for the Secretariat to deal with, and I think we're dealing with it adequately. My understanding is how they intend to work is to alternate the staff. Not the same staff works every day. They alternate. So one set works on one day, the next day another set works, and then the next set comes back and they continue alternating. But they have in fact said to us that they will have in place a sufficient number of staff to work.
So, meaning, for the want of a better word, surplus, should there be?
Yeah, I think they'll have standbys.
What is the mechanism in place to deal with dispute? Say, for example, a party may say they're not pleased with the process.
All right,
They need a.
we have established a hierarchy. There is a supervisor for each workstation. The supervisor is the first stop for resolution of issues. If that doesn't work, then it goes up the chain and gets to the CEO. If that doesn't work, then it's brought to the commission.
Chairman has now ruled that Region 1 will have 2 workstations, Region 2 will have 2 workstations, Region 3 will have 3 workstations, and Region 4 will have 3 workstations. I maintain that that is also an untidy process. It lends itself to confusion because you will have at any one time several containers of ballot boxes open. You'll have several areas moving at the same time, which lends itself to confusion. And additionally, Region 4 is the largest region, and it is the region from which the most, if not the only, controversy erupted. And as a consequence, it requires some special attention to be placed to it, which special attention is not being given to it in these circumstances. My final motion was a resolution that the declaration of the elections results of Electoral District 4 by Returning Officer Claremont Mingo, made on the 13th of March 2020, and the consequential report prepared and submitted to the Commission by the Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield. It was submitted to the Chairman rather. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 96 of the Representation of the People Act, be set aside, revoked, annulled, and rescinded by the Guyana Elections Commission. In relation to this, of course, the Commission was divided on it. It required the tie-breaking vote from the Chairman, and in voting she said, I will not be setting it aside until there is something to replace it. The recount will replace this.
Could you confirm that the chairman also said that Mr. Mingo will not be playing any part in the recount process?
I said that earlier on. She said that the ROs will not be playing a process. And she extended that to mean that Mr. Mingo will not be there. In relation to the other staff, as I told you yesterday, Commissioner Ben listed a long list of people who he advocated against their involvement in this process. And the chairman has ruled on that as well. What will be broadcast are the results of each box. How that will be broadcast, I'm not sure whether each one will be publicized, posted. I'm not sure about that as yet. But the actual process will not be live streamed.